radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. How you doing? How you doing? Today's Monday, January 17th, 2022. 17 days into the new year. Only 348 days left. We are live from a bunker that is in the middle of nowhere, a total undisclosed location. But it is beautiful. Yeah, it is. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer, and UnX Networks. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking? How you doing? All right. Here we go. About to kick off another great week here on Fade to Black. Tonight, Gail Thackray is here. Now, let me just say this. Gail is, at a couple of live events, remote. She has been on with us briefly in the past. But this is the first time Gail has been with us for a full show. Very excited about this. And as with the rest of our guests this week, they're all first-time guests. That's right. So tonight, Gail is here. We're going to be discussing soul fix and repair and amongst other things. Tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy joins us. Very excited about Pete tomorrow night. We are going to be talking about Antarctica. Yeah, and that's tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Chris Plain. Yeah, man. Chris is the head science writer for The Debrief, and that is Wednesday night. Wow, what a week. And then Thursday's another Fader night with open lines all night long. All right? That's an amazing week. I can't wait to have Gail on. She'll be with us at the bottom of the hour. And earlier today, finally, I got around to it. I did, let me scoot over. I did my live stream unboxing of Lioness. I did that earlier today. And I've just been busy and I just didn't get around to it. Finally did it today. And everybody, this is Lioness. And she is unbelievable. Tourmalated quartz crystal skull. So there she is. And she's incredible too. Lots of vibes coming from Lioness. And you can get your own crystal skull. Just go to EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. You can check out the video. It's archived. It's over on Facebook where I streamed it, and then immediately didn't edit it or do anything. Just took it and slapped it over onto YouTube and hit go, and it just went as an instant premiere. I didn't even have a chance to go in and put comments. It just like, whoa, took me by surprise. But anyway, you can go and check out that unboxing video. That was a lot of fun. And I'm going to figure out how to do unboxing properly. Everybody does it so good. And I just, but there you go. And I did it today. Somebody commented, I'm not sure who it was, Jimmy, are you in your PJs? And I was. I put on a shirt. But yeah, I had just started my first cup of coffee. I was like, man, I've got to do this live stream. And if I don't do it right now, it's just not going to get done today, and I'll have to put it off to tomorrow. So anyway, busted that out today. You can go check it out. It's in the videos there on YouTube, and it's over on Facebook. You can go and find it. EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com, promo code Jimmy will get you 10% off of your order. In the video, I said Caroline Ford like 5 times, 10 times, and it's Carolyn Ford. Like, I don't know that. And that's what I get. I should have drank coffee before live streaming, and that's a fact. That's a lesson learned right there. All right, EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Lioness is unbelievably beautiful. Okay, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. The Sandbox, hashtag F2B right there on Twitter, which is, look at the, Kaz. Yeah, these are screenshots from the video. Yeah, pretty cool. Lots of fun. It's like Christmas. I didn't know what I was unboxing. So much fun to do. And there you go. I wanted to follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. Before I get to the breaking news, somebody had posted, I'm not going to say what guitar it was, but it just wouldn't be the prudent, fresh thing to do. But somebody had posted a picture of a guitar that I've had my eyes on for a long time. And I said so anyway, I got it. I got the guitar like 5 days ago, and it came to me with a warped neck. I couldn't believe it. I was so disappointed. The air is out of the sales. Boxed it up, sent it back the same day that I got it. And that's it. I'm not into spending $500 on a repair on a guitar that was brand new. And it wasn't cheap, by the way, either. And I sent that thing back. So that's it. It's weird. I have no desire. I don't want another one. I don't want them to send me another one. I'm not interested. I'm bummed. And that's it. I'm over it. And I only bring it up because the company that sent it to me, they issued the RA, the return authorization, immediately, and I sent it back. Today, 5 days later, they sent me an email. It came in right before the show. Would you like to do a survey on your new blah, blah, blah guitar? How do you like it? And I'm like, what? I was so tempted. I just decided to let it go. Anyway, so it's on my mind. It came in right before the show. Let's get to the breaking news. A distress signal has been detected in an isolated low-lying group of islands in Tonga following Saturday's massive volcanic eruption and tsunami. The uninhabited island of Hunga Tonga all but disappeared following the blast, according to satellite images from around 12 hours later. 3 large eruptions have been detected at the Tonga volcano. The latest was earlier today and confirmed at 22:10 GMT. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center also said it has detected large waves in the area. I'll keep everybody posted on this. The west coast of the United States, tsunamis, waves, some of them quite big. And this broke earlier today. Archaeologists in northwest Saudi Arabia have discovered a 4,500-year-old funerary avenue, the longest running for about 105 miles, alongside thousands of pendant-shaped stone tombs. The researchers from the University of Western Australia don't know much about the rituals that were conducted on these funerary avenues or even in the tombs that line the pathways. Human remains inside the tombs are in poor shape, and some of the tombs have, of course, been robbed. The research team used satellite imagery, aerial photography, ground surveys, and excavations to make the finds. The images are incredible. And there may be some more in southern Saudi Arabia. All right, a 6-year cold case investigation into the betrayal of Anne Frank has identified a surprising suspect. His name, Arnold Vandenberg, in the mystery of how Nazis found her hiding in her secret lair above in the attic in 1944. Vandenberg was a notary in the neighborhood and had access to addresses where Jews were hiding as a member of Amsterdam's wartime Jewish council and had passed lists of such addresses to the Nazis to save his own family. Using modern research techniques, a master database was compiled with lists of Dutch collaborators, informants, historic documents, police records, and prior research to uncover their new leads. Incredible. An amateur metal detectorist, if that is such a thing, a metal detectorist, one who uses a metal detector, right? He discovered one of England's first gold coins, and he's about to see a payday of nearly $500,000. The Henry III gold penny, which was found on farmland in Devon and was minted in 1257, depicts the former English king sitting on an ornate throne, holding an orb in one hand and a scepter in the other. Is one of only 8 such coins known to exist, and all the rest of them are in museums. And it's an incredible coin. It's perfect. It's beautiful. The full moon, the last full moon of the year, or the first full moon of the year is known as the wolf moon. And it will appear tonight, Monday, January 17th. If you're on the East Coast, you're already seeing it. The moon was named after wolves that were thought to howl more frequently during this time of year. And it peaked already about, if you're on the East Coast, it's peaking right now on the West Coast. If you're on the East Coast, you saw it about 3 hours ago, I think, 6:51 p.m. Eastern Time. You can still catch a glimpse of the moon right now. Just look above the horizon in the east-northeastern direction after the show tonight. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is 60. Steve Harvey today is 64. Zoe Deschanel today. Is it Day Channel? Is it Deschanel? Is it Desk Channel? Zoe today is 41. James Earl Jones today is 80. Mandela effect? Man, I didn't know he was still alive. I didn't. And I really thought about this today. Kid Rock today is 50. Rolling Stones guitarist Mick Taylor today is 73. You know, he left the Stones in 74 after playing on, all of their great early albums and after, Mick Jones. And he went back. He did the 50th anniversary tour. He might be touring with them right now. So I'm going to say he's still in the band. Today, Mick Taylor is 73 years old. Paul Young today is 66. That's right. Every Time You Go Away. And you love that song. And the Bangles, Susanna Hoffs, today is 63. Our dead guy's birthday today is Eartha Kitt. 1927 to 2008, died at the age of 79. Eartha was a singer. She was an actress, a comedian, and a dancer. And that Christmas song, Santa Baby, that's all Eartha. Batman featured Eartha as Catwoman for 3 episodes after Julie Newmar had left the show in 1967 because it went down in January 1968. Eartha encountered a substantial professional setback in the United States after she made anti-war statements during a White House luncheon, after which she was branded a sadistic nymphomaniac by the CIA. That's right. Eartha died of colon cancer on Christmas Day, 2008, 3 weeks short of her 82nd birthday at her home in West End, Connecticut. Oh, I said 79. She died at the age of 81. On this day in history, OTD 1961. Huge day in history. Dwight D. Eisenhower ends his presidential term by warning the nation about the increasing power of the military-industrial complex. Man, what a speech. Fader fact. Now, I saw a video last week and of an owl on somebody's arm, and it was beautiful. And then there were some facts, some things that were said during this video about owls that I didn't know. So I went and looked all of this up because owls can't move their eyeballs. That's because owls don't have eyeballs at all. They do not. Instead, their eyes are shaped like tubes and held in place by bones. I did not know that. They can't even roll their eye. They can't. They're straight. And that's why, of course, they can move their neck like almost 360 degrees. Not quite. Pretty close. That's right. I didn't know that. That's your Fader fact. Tonight, we have very special guest. Gail Thackray is here. We're going to be discussing soul fix and repair, amongst other things. First-time guest this week here on Fade to Black. Tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy joins us. We're going to be talking about the Antarctica mystery. And then Wednesday night, Chris Plain is here. He is the head science writer for The Debrief. It's going to be a blowout night on Wednesday as well. Thursday is another Fader night with open lines all night long. Ken Priest, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? I didn't know that. Let's see, Katya just said, Jimmy, today's full moon in Cancer is conjunct your moon. Very auspicious for wealth. Also, it's full at the same time all over the planet. 6:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Just adjust the location. Is that right? Is that a fact? Katya, I need you to be right on this one. I need you to be right. Oh, man. Katya Ferris. Many years ago, it's not many. It was more like 3. I'm at the Conscious Life Expo. I'm in the lounge. And now Katya's been a friend of the show for many years, but I hadn't met her. And I'm sitting there with the Fadernauts eating dinner. Katya comes up to the table. She goes, Jimmy. I said, yes. She goes, it's me, Katya. I jumped over the table, over everybody, to get to her and throw down with a big hug. And that was a very special moment. I hope you remember that, don't you, Katya? I think we have it on video somewhere. All right, let me hit this River Moon coffee. Today when I, rivermoonwellness.com and promo code F2B blend. Oh, man. Today, when I filled up the hopper on my grinder, I'd open up a fresh bag of Fade to Black blend. And I'm going to just say, there is nothing like, right? And I just stood there and enjoyed that thing, that fresh coffee bean thing, wafting through the room. Incredible. Get your own Fade to Black blend, rivermoonwellness.com. Links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right. Tonight, all first-time guests this week. Gail Thackray is with us, and she's sort of a first-time guest. This is our first full show. She's been on with us a couple of times in the past. briefly when we were doing some remote events. And when you come out to the Conscious Life Expo, Gail's booth and our booth are always next to each other. So we come up and say hi to me, Gail's going to be right there. So you can just look over. Well, she's actually got a lot of things she's doing at the show, but she's hanging out. And so anyway, it's just kind of weird that we see each other all the time. And tonight, after all these years, is the first time she's done a full show with it. I've been on her show. It's the first time we've done a full show with Gail tonight. And tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy is here. Creepy Little Book is his YouTube channel. And tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the Antarctica mystery. Wednesday night, Chris Plain, another first-time guest. He is the head science writer over at the Debrief. And I've been enjoying all of his stuff over there for quite a while. And finally, we get Chris on the show. And that'll be Wednesday night. Thursday is another Fader night with open lines all night long. All right. I'm in the middle of reading a book. Now, I'm not done with it, so I can't recommend it yet. But when I'm done, I'll get back to you. But there's a chapter in this particular book about something that I've talked about so many times on this show. And I've actually read this chapter 2 or 3 times this week. I've actually gone back and absorbed it because it forced me into thinking about a few things, and certainly stuff that has been talked about on the show a lot over the last 4, 5, 6 years. And one of the things that I talk a lot about is that the UFO community is used to ups and downs. It's just used to it. And it's things, going up or going down or whatever in this community. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not. But right now, we all feel, and I've said this many times, that we are on the verge of something. We are on the verge. That disclosure may be here, and there might be an announcement soon, and things are, and we all can feel it. It's never been like this before. Or has it? Stay with me. You see, back in 1989, at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas, MUFON was having their international symposium. And on that particular Friday, it's hot, right? It's hot. It's sweaty. And on that particular Friday, the keynote address that evening was Stanton Friedman. Opening up for Stanton Friedman was William Moore. And listen, at this event, William Moore gets up and starts to do his presentation and then announces that everything's fake. I don't know if anybody passed out. Rumors are that might have happened. But it was dramatic. And the reason why it was so dramatic was because this was coming from Bill Moore. Bill Moore, in 1980, now that was 1989, 9 years prior, in 1980, Bill Moore co-authored with Charles Berlitz the Roswell incident. Without that book, Roswell may not have happened. Now, I'm not saying that Jesse Marcel and others wouldn't have eventually come forward and that it would have gotten uncovered. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that Bill Moore and Charles Berlitz did do it in 1980. And right after that, mid-'80s, the MJ-12 documents come out. And Jamie Chandere, Bill's partner, producer here in Burbank, gets a roll of film in his mailbox, and on this film was some of the MJ-12 documents. They spent 3 years with Stanton Friedman going through these files, and slowly they were released. But the point being that the UFO community at that time with the MJ-12 documents had full disclosure. The government has known all along, according to the documents, crash retrievals, alien bodies, programs, the incidents, all documented. And it was a crazy time for ufology, where those that were following this, and I'm talking about witnesses and people and researchers and authors and everything, that this comes along, the MJ-12 documents, combined with everything else that was happening at the time, including Roswell, that disclosure had happened. Now, what happened with the documents since then, that's besides the point. At that time, the UFO community and the rest of the world was looking at the MJ-12 documents, and the UFO community had the smoking guns, pages and pages and pages and pages of, at the time, purported to be official leaked documents. And at that point, and this is the UFO community's on that high. It's on that high, way beyond where we are right now. Okay? Way beyond that. And Bill Moore steps up and says, it's all fake. The stress and the upheaval that this caused, unless you were there and went through it, you don't have any idea. And to put it in perspective, and the reason why I'm talking about it now is today, where we have, Danny Sheen or Lou Elizondo or Richard Dolan or Grant Cameron or Linda Moulton Howe, these Nick Pope, right? And these researchers that have been at this for a long time. Just imagine any one of them. Imagine Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Dolan, just stepping up to the mic and saying, it's all fake. What would happen? I need you to think about that. That's what happened in 1989 at the Aladdin Hotel. It wasn't any different than what I've just said to you. If that happened today, Lou Elizondo comes on this show and says, it's all fake. Right? Richard Dolan says, you know what? It's all fake. Danny Sheehan, it's all fake. John Greenwald, it's all fake. Imagine how you would feel, and imagine the atmosphere in the UFO community at the time when we think we are on the verge of disclosure. That's what happened in 1989. It was that dramatic. Everything was happening. MJ-12 and Roswell and things and man, Project Aquarius. Remember that memo? And it was all fake. Incredible. So think about that. We recovered. All right. Now, it took us 33 years since then to get to where we are today. So think about that. Whatever that drama is out there that you think about, that is a possibility. Right now, we can handle anything. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Gail Thackray is here for the first time. And I'll be right back after this short break. Tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy is here. Wednesday night, Chris Plain. Thursday night is another Fader night with open lines all night long. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer and UnX Networks. I'll be right back after this short break with our guest, Gail Thackray. Stay right there.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
The new KUNXDB, the UNX Network, bringing you the best in paranormal programming in premium high-definition streaming audio and video. Log on to the network at unxnetwork.com and check out the growing lineup of programs, including Jimmy Church, Whitley Strieber, Micah Hanks, and many more. Sign up for the free UNX newsletter, follow the UNX blog, or pick up the latest edition of the UNX magazine. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So check us out at unxnetwork.com. Tap the show page and the calendar so you never miss your favorite live shows and podcasts. We are your portal for all things paranormal. The X, explaining the unexplained.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What a great week we have this week on Fade to Black. Tonight, Gail Thackray is with us. All first-time guests this week. Gail Thackray tonight, Pete McCarthy tomorrow night, Chris Plain on Wednesday. Thursday's another Fader night with open lines all night long. Gail is a success coach who believes we both can be materially successful and lead a spiritually empowered life. She's the author of 30 Days to Prosperity, a workbook to manifest abundance, What's Up With Your Life, Finding and Living Your True Purpose, and several spiritual books on natural healing, Reiki, and developing intuition. She has led groups around the world seeking inner truth and spiritual enlightenment. She's extremely intuitive, helping people embrace these aspects into their daily lives. Recently, we're going to talk about this later on in the show, Gail surprised all of us with her latest book, Running with Wolves, revealing her former life as a mega business mogul at the launch of the adult internet. Yeah, I know what you're... Okay, yeah, we're going to get to that, too, as well. Her website, of course, is gailthackray.com. The links are not only in social media, we've got them posted there, but they're over at jimmychurchradio.com. And I would like to welcome, sort of, for the first time, Gail Thackray. Gail, how you doing?
Hey, Jimmy. Thank you for having me on.
You know, why did we wait this long? But here's the deal, though. I mean, you've been on the show a couple of times in the past when we've done, special remote things, and you've joined us. But I just don't know why it's taken this long to finally have you on the show.
Well, they say timing is perfect for everything, and maybe tonight we're going to talk about the whole gamut. Now I've revealed the other side. We're going to talk about the intuition side. We're going to talk about everything. So timing's perfect.
And thank you for that. But this is the deal. I'm going to call this a first-time guest. So that means you're going to get the first-time guest disclaimer, which is this. Gail, it's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends, and where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, it ends. But we're going to end as friends. But see, we're already friends. We've already had the conversations on the couch, and we've known each other for a long time. But the first-time guest disclaimer is a must. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be on.
Now, here's the deal. Knowing you for as long as I have, and I've introduced you at conferences. We've done that a few different times. I've seen you interact with the audience, and I've seen this part of you, and I know who you are, and I scratch my head, and I just wonder where this all came from. Were you spiritually guided as a child?
Well, I think we all are. So when I look back, yeah, there's definitely things there. But no, this came as a surprise to me. So my first real kind of psychic opening intuition came when I was 40. And basically, I went to an event. I had a business, which we'll get into later, but I had a business, nothing to do with spirituality. And I was pretty grounded. And I believed in spiritual things, but I wouldn't say I was a big follower. And one day I go to this, like a health fair, where me and my mom go, and we're just going and attending. And there's this psychic there, like a, going around the room, picking people out, saying, oh, I have a reading for you, right? And we're just sitting in the audience, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, pick me. I want to have a reading, right? Well, she doesn't pick me. And she's having a workshop. And so I says to my mom, hey, let's sign up for the workshop. I had no idea what the workshop was. I just figured, we'd go and hopefully we'd get a reading when we were there. So we signed up for this workshop for the weekend, and we arrive at the workshop, and there's this sign up that says how to become a medium. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really think that's going to happen, but great, we're up for it. So she's teaching us like kind of a slight meditation, and you're going to bring in this spirit. You're going to imagine this spirit's coming in and it's talking to you, and then you're going to share with the group, right? Mm-hmm. So the first person gets up and they're like, okay, I have someone here. It might be a man, might be a woman, might be initial A or E or B or F.
Right.
Right, anybody. But they're feeling something, right? I mean, they've got somebody here and they're feeling it, and the people in the room are going, okay, could it be my grandma? Could it be my uncle? And I'm thinking, oh, I just totally did this wrong. I just made mine up. So it's my turn. I said, look, I think I need another go. I did this wrong. I just made up a story. I didn't think we were supposed to actually like have a spirit here. So she goes, well, what did you get? Well, I said, well, mine's for this guy over here. And it's his Grand-Pierre Massé. And he's telling me that he had a scaffolding company. His dad took the scaffolding company. He was supposed to take the scaffolding company, but he became a pilot. And he showed me this picture of him with the baby and him when he was a grandfather and how he died and da-da-da. So I say all this, and then I go, okay, did he get any of that? Did anybody else get any of that? This guy's having a heart attack. The guy goes, that's my grandfather. That's his name. I have the picture. I am a pilot. I was supposed to take the scaffolding company. So he's freaking out. I'm freaking out. And I'm just going, maybe it was a lucky guess. Yeah. I think, okay. He looks kind of French, right? And so this goes on like the whole day. Then she's saying, okay, now we're going to do another exercise, and you're going to feel this person's body. You're going to run your hands a few inches away from them. You're going to feel their energy, and then tell me about them, right? So I get up with my partner, and I say, well, I feel this here. I feel like she had a surgery on her knee, and then she's got a cyst in her breast. She had a cyst removed. It was from drinking too much Diet Coke, but she had it removed. Now it's gone. Now she's got another one, but that's going to go too. And the girl goes, oh my God, I had a cyst in my breast. I had it drained. Now I've got another one. So I'm going, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it up. And this goes on the whole weekend. So I go home that night. And this is like insomnia on steroids. And so the last thing that happens that day was we to get up on stage and pretend a spirit's coming through. And I'm on the stage going, oh my God, this guy's on top of me. This guy's strangling me. This guy bears on top of me. His brother drives the Harley. I have the 1950s vintage Trans Am. And I'm in this bar in Long Beach. And this girl in the group starts crying. And she says, it's a 1960s Trans Am. And that's my son. And her son had been killed in this bar fight. So I'm like, okay, now this is like weird. So I go home that night, and it's like, I can't sleep. I've got insomnia. They're coming all night long. Okay, I need you to give a message to this person. No, I need to talk to you. I need it. No, we've got one that can talk to us. We've got one that can talk to us. And they're like lined up coming to me. And then this guy comes from this scene, and he says, I don't want my mom to know about all the details. I was with my dad. We did this drug deal. It was our fault. I don't want her to know that my dad was involved and the whole thing. So I come the next day, and I cannot now really function. I can't drive the car. I put my pants on backwards. I'm like a zombie coming in. And I said, okay, I have a message for you. Okay, how do we turn this off? Because you can't live like this. This is crazy. So that was my first entrance.
That was your first. Okay. What's going through your mind at this point? Do you think you're nuts?
I think I've completely made it up, and it's just kind of I'm just saying things that are lucky. And then I'm like, well, I mean, if I can do it, everybody can do it. It's almost like there's a door there. I just opened it up, and they're all there. I never tried to do this before. So everybody can do this if they try. Is your mom? Let me ask you a personal question. Is I don't know if she's still with us, but she is.
She is. Okay, so is your mom as cool of a mom as you are as a mom?
Oh yeah, I mean, my mom was my biggest fan. She was at this workshop with me,
right?
And she was like, Gail, you're doing this. You're not making this up. This is amazing.
Right.
I went home. I was married at the time. My husband looks at me and says, are you reading my mind? What the hell?
I went, I've known your daughter for a couple of years now. And I met her originally, as you know, you were there, but she was one of the contestants at Expo's Got Talent. And I remember at the time, I didn't know she was your daughter until later on that afternoon. But the point being this, I pulled her to the side last year. No, wait a minute. Did I see you guys twice last year? Anyway,
for the last few years she's been with me. So
she's been with you
a couple of years.
But the last time I pulled her aside. I said, "Man, is your mom really that cool?" She goes, "My mom is the coolest because she is so grounded." And watching the two of you talk and communicate, I'm wondering if you pick that up from your mom and the way that you have raised and deal with your daughter.
I mean, Sydney, you're talking about Sydney, actually, I have three
Yes.
daughters. They're all amazing. Sydney is very, very intuitive. And so, I didn't have this with my first two daughters. So when this happened, they also thought I was nuts. Not sure whether to believe me. Whereas my littlest one, Sydney, has grown up with this. And she is so intuitive. And she manifests anything she wants. And she'll say, "Oh, Mom, I don't want to do that. I want to go here for Thanksgiving." I say, "No, we've got something planned." And then that person will call and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm having to cancel." And I'll look at her like, "Great," So she just manifests everything. When COVID happened, she'd just been saying, "Hey, I'd love to do homeschool. I don't really want to go to school." And COVID happened. I looked at her. She goes, "No, Mom, I swear this was not me."
I mean, her lights are on. She's very, very, very smart. And so going back to your mom, the reason why I'm bringing all of this up, because when you're going through this life-changing event, right, and she was there to support you, and she wasn't wondering if this was real. Oh, we just lost the feed. Let's see if I get this reconnected. Just stay with me. And I am going to make this happen. Very strange because everything was so solid. And sometimes it just drops. And it's not dropping because of me, though. And it looks like, we may have lost the internet. Okay, I'm good over here. You gotta love this when this happens like this, because everything else is solid. No, I am good, and it's this end over here. I'm wondering. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody just stay right there. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and get this reset. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Gail Thackray is with us on the Game Changer and UnX networks. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Katie and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Internet went out. Not here, but elsewhere. That's it. Wow. I have no idea if we can get Gail back tonight. If we have to shift things around, we can move Gail over to Thursday, and we'll see if the internet comes back. But it is definitely 100% down. It's not down here, though. I believe I am good to go. Bizarre. Okay, so now what do we do? Let's go to open lines. That's all I can do. Oh, man. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. I will start lining up phone calls now. That's it. I'm not prepared, and the show must go on. So let's go to open lines, and I've got everything on this side live if Gail manages to come back. But that was bizarre. Okay, 747-228-2051. I saw it too. I saw it. It went it went staticky, and I was watching it. I was like, man, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. And boom, gone. You got to love it. You got to love it. Okay, 747-228-2051. Let's just go. Let's go. We'll do an AMA. We'll do we'll do whatever. We'll go to open lines, and then I'll probably end up cutting everybody off if Gail comes back. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Okay. All right. I'm putting you on hold. You just stay right there, and I'll bring in this call, and I'm going to put you on hold. You just stay right there, and let's do this. Since I've already done a commercial break, we'll just keep this live and swing this through. This is so much fun. I wasn't expecting this. Okay, hold on. Let me put you on hold, and you stay right there. Oh, hold on a minute. I think I've got Gail back. Let's see here. Let's see. And let's see. Okay. Oh, man. What was that?
I don't know. It's that spiritual energy.
Yeah. That was. I watched it go staticky, and then he dropped, and I checked the internet down detector, and you've got issues in your area. Doesn't matter. You're back. All right. That was crazy. That was nuts.
It was crazy. Woo! Funny things going on.
Okay. All right. Let's now that we're already into the second segment, you got to love that. One of the things you and I do the Conscious Life Expo every year, and what's really great about that is our booths are next to each other, so we get to hang out. And we had a fantastic dinner last year, too, as well. That was really, really cool. This year, though, you've got 6 events happening. And I've been looking at the timing of all of this. You're not stopping for 2 or 3 days. You realize that, right?
Yes. In fact, before that, I'm actually, this week, I'm actually going to Houston to be at the Elton John concert, and then I get a 4 a.m. flight into Florida to be on stage in Florida at 11 a.m.
and then just turn around and come back to L.A.
And then I come back to L.A. for the Conscious Life.
Oh man! So. Well,
I love it when you're on it and you're in the vibe. It just is wonderful.
Yeah, no, and I love being that busy. I remember, can I share something with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to share something with you. This was 9 years ago. George Norrie said to me, he goes, "Church, sleep is for sissies." Right? Because I asked, he's on until 4 a.m., and at 8 o'clock in the morning, he's calling me. And I'm like, dude, do you ever sleep? He said, sleep is for sissies. Always work. Church, never stop working. And that's my advice. And I have been that way ever since, Gail. I never stop working. I don't like taking time off.
Well, I was woke up in the middle of the night with a very famous rock star that comes to me occasionally. I guess because I was coming on the show today. So he was up in the middle of the night talking to me.
Does he listen to Fade to Black?
He must do, because he came last night and was very active.
Very interesting. Let's. I want to circle back to that, actually. You've got things start off for you on the weekend. You're doing a workshop. Now, check this out. This is at 12 noon in the La Jolla Ballroom. But this one is entitled, you're going to be doing Decoding Spirit Communication. What's that all about?
Well, this is about connecting with your spirit guides and with your loved ones in spirit. But I think the problem that a lot of people have is they're never sure whether they're just imagining it, whether this is just something they're making up,
right,
or whether this is like their loved one that's coming through to them. And especially when you're getting messages yourself, they're never really sure. Did I make this up? Was this really my dad that came through and talked to me?
Mm-hmm.
Was this a message I got from someone? And a lot of times people are just like, no, I don't think that was it. So I think that we do get spirit communication. And I think that when you're especially in that quiet time, so first thing in the morning when you're waking up, or when you're kind of like dozing out, you're half awake, half asleep, you're not really concentrating on it. A lot of times our loved ones will come through, or if we're thinking about them, they'll come through. And people are never really sure whether it actually happened. And so I'm going to talk a lot about bringing in spirit communication, connecting with your guides and getting information about your life and what you're doing is very different to connecting with loved ones. So we all have a spirit guide that talks to us and helps us through the daily life that we can ask questions of and we can get answers from. Mm-hmm. This is a guide. So it's not like if your mom passes away, she becomes your guide on the other side, right? I mean, would you really want your mom advising you on your career and your relationships and, right? So we each have a spirit guide that talks to us, as well as loved ones that come through. And so what I'm going to talk about is, how do you do this? How do you connect with somebody, or how do you get advice from the other side? And then how do you have that spirit communication where you know and understand? Sometimes they come to you in symbols. And so it's about learning to decipher how to do it, how to connect, and then knowing and understanding when you really are connecting, the signs, the feelings.
Let me ask you a question about that, and then I want to talk about my mom who passed away 4 years ago. But do we talk to spirit guides all the time and not realize it? Should I go over to this person's house tonight? And you ask yourself this question, right? And then you make up your mind. Are you not knowingly? Are you talking to a spirit guide that helps you through that moment, but you may not know it?
Well, even if you're not talking and asking a verbal question, I mean, how many times do you have an intuition or an idea? How many times do you think, oh, that's a brilliant idea?
All day
right?
long. Yeah, all day long. Yes.
Yeah, all day long, right? Well, it's mostly not you. It's mostly your guides that are up there. So it's like we have these guides, and a lot of the time they're just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, thinking, gosh, I really could help Jimmy out if he just asked. I mean, Jimmy's bashing his head against really trying to figure this out.
Right.
It would be a lot easier if he just would, ask us. So they're there, but they don't interfere because, we're doing things in life. It's a learning lesson. So when we're experiencing a block and having a difficulty in whatever area of our life, mm-hmm. we're doing it for a reason. We're having this experience for a reason. So unless we actually say, hey, I've had enough of this, I'd like some help here, they're just going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, we'll send him love and light. We'll be there for him if he asks. Right? So I think we all have.
Oh, you just muted your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I'm watching. Try to hold it still.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm seeing, but yeah, you accidentally muted it. There's a little button on the front. Okay. Let's continue. My mom 4 years ago passed away. I knew that she wasn't going to be with us for very much longer. She was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. And I thought to myself, Gail, that I was going to be experiencing what everybody else talks about, right? My dad passed away, he came to me that night, or my mom passed away, she came to me the next night. And I was expecting this to happen, and it didn't. and it's been 4 years, right? How do I reach out to my mom, and how would I know if it was even her?
Well, that's the thing is, the more you try, the more you expect it, and the more you are saying, hey, I want to do this to try to bring her in, actually, the less it happens.
Oh.
It actually happens that when we're not trying. When you try, you're actually blocking it. So when you're in your head and you're trying it, and you've got these exercises you're doing and you're forcing it, it's never going to work. It actually comes to you at the moment you go, okay, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And that's what I do when I teach people, is to kind of get out of their own way and to stop like overthinking it and to be more like, well, if it happens, it happens. So with your mom, I mean, your mom's around you. It's when you're thinking about her and you've got those fond memories, and you just kind of, we connect through feeling, right? So when you're feeling that connection with your mom, and so, try a meditation, and where you just, thinking really nice things about her, or, you're taking a walk and you're doing something that reminds you of your mom, and you start thinking about it. That's when they start coming through. And, at first you are going to think you're making it up. You can kind of have a conversation. At first it feels like you're having a conversation in your head, and you feel like, well, I don't know if this is really her talking back to me. But at some point, she's going to put some things in there that you're going to go, well, I didn't know that. Or I'd forgotten about that. Or things that are going to come up. But it is hard because, especially when you're in the spiritual business, like people like, this person passed. Okay, now they're supposed to come through and talk to me. And it's not always in the way that you think they're going to come through.
There was, she made a strange comment to me on the phone, right? It was about a year before she passed. My mom, when I was growing up, was full on into everything. Edgar Cayce, Ouija boards, automatic writing. She was like right there with all UFOs and E.T. and Eric Von Daniken. She was amazing when I was, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember all of this stuff. So I asked her about 5 years ago, I said, Mom, I want you to come on Fade to Black. And she goes, why? And I said, well, you and Aunt Z and the Ouija boards and Edgar Cayce and the automatic writing. She goes, that was in a past life. I don't do that stuff anymore. I'm with the Lord today, Jimmy, right? And she struck me down. And she kind of laughed about it. And when I was 5, she was 26 years old, right? She had me when she was 21. She was just a kid and exploring all of these things in 1969 and 1970. And because she had moved on from that, do you think that may be part of it today, that maybe she doesn't want to contact anybody? Maybe she's moved on. Maybe she's gone to the next level of the next realm and is no longer able to come back and,
I don't think
hello.
That's true. I mean, I do think that, when our relatives pass, they go to the white light. They're not there by us all the time, watching over us.
Right.
They come around when we're thinking about them, when we're having those memories of love, and we're feeling about them. That's when they come around and they come close to us. But on the other side, they have a job, they have a purpose. So, she's obviously busy with her purpose, doing something on a high level. But that doesn't mean to say she doesn't come around. But she's going to come around mostly when you connect emotionally, not really just thinking about her, but when you reminisce and you feel it. It's really through feeling. So one of the exercises I tell people to do is to think about a time when they were together and they were doing something fun together, and to go back into that memory and not just thinking about it, but put yourself in that place and feel it. Just really feel that connection. And when you start to get that loving feeling, that's when they come through. And sometimes, and as a medium, happens all the time, that when spirits come through, you become overwhelmed and you tear up. And it's not like this sadness, it's this amazing feeling of joy. But it's like they're on the other side in this white light, and when they come through, you're connecting, you're feeling them, you're feeling this amazing energy. And sometimes I feel silly if I was reading somebody and I'd be looking like I'm crying. I'm not crying. But that's one of the indications that you're really connecting.
The way that I just described this to you now, my situation, I'm not unique, am I? I am sure that you have many coming to you asking for the same advice.
Yeah, so many people. And I think it's harder when it is your loved one and you're trying again. It's when you're trying too much. I mean, I get people that are really amazing psychics and readers going, I just can't connect with this person that I love. And it's almost like when you're trying too hard,
now
it's not coming through.
Right.
You have to kind of get out of your mind and not be thinking about it.
And your next workshop, which is later on that same day, which is what I wanted to talk about tonight as well, is Soul Fix and Repair, magnetic healing. Can we talk about that for a minute? And right now in 2022, with everything that is going on around us, this is something that everybody is interested in.
Yeah, well, nobody is perfect. We're all working on different problems, different things that we've had in our life that actually sit in our energy field and actually can even cause us physical problems on our body. So, perhaps you're working on romantic relationships and that's been a whole thing for you. It is going to actually show up in your energy field, and romantic relationships are actually going to show up in the area of your body, which is related to your sacral chakra. So it could be, if you're a woman, it could be ovary problems, it could be stomach problems, things in this area of your body. If it's to do with things in your family, stuff in your past, old stuff, it's going to be in your hips and your thighs and your base chakra, right? So our energy of our body actually shows what we're working on and what our difficulties are. Everybody's got something at some level. We're all working on something. Nobody is perfect. And even before we come into this life, if you believe in past lives, we come in with certain things, from past lives where we were working on something and we're still working on it today. So let's say you come over into this life, perhaps you've been great at finances in a past life. And you're coming into this life, you're coming for a learning experience. So perhaps you've decided in this lifetime that you're going to have some issues with financial troubles. And so that's something that's going to keep coming up, right? It's in your energy field when you arrive in this lifetime. It's one of the things that's in your energy field. Normally we've got 20 different things in our energy field that we're working on, and it can come out physically in health problems. But these are the lessons that we're working on. And that is going to attract more and more and more. If you're having difficulties with your relationship with your father when you come in, that is that issue, that feeling, that energy is going to keep coming up through your romantic relationships, through your business relationships. It's going to keep coming up. Why? Because you never resolved it. So even if you have a romantic relationship and it's crappy and you finally get rid of that person and they're out of your life and you're done with it and you think, oh, I'm done with that. Often people have that same relationship come back. They have another person comes into their life, but it's the same kind of experience, right? And they repeat it again. They keep repeating these patterns. It's because we never fully learned that experience. So perhaps you had a guy in your life and he treated you very badly and you were supposed to love yourself and stand up for yourself and say, I'm not going to be treated like this. Perhaps that was your learning lesson. And you never fully did that. So even though he's gone, the next one comes along is going to treat you the same way because it's a learning experience. And these are energies that we have in our body, in our pattern, when in our lifetime, when we're born, we have them. And it's difficult to fix them, to get rid of them. But, you've got to fix that energy or that pattern's going to keep coming back, whether it's a lack of finances, whether it's not feeling worthy, whether it's feeling guilty. These things are going to come over and over until you get to the point where you've really, really resolved them. And I studied a lot in the Philippines with the psychic surgeons who believe in soul fragmenting. They believe that your soul can get disconnected, your soul can have bruises and cracks in it. And it's the same in different modalities. Maybe they talk about it in a different way. You know, people may say you've got a block, you've got an issue, you've got a cord. You know, in the Philippines, they'll talk about these soul fragments. It's just a different way of addressing it. But it's basically talking about the things that you're working on in your life and, you know, pinpointing what they are. Sometimes people don't know what they are. Sometimes people don't relate one thing to another. Maybe they've got a health issue and they don't realize that health issue is related to this feeling that they've got with their sister that they never talked to for years, right? And so it's once you kind of go into it and you realize what these issues are that you're working on, often just consciously understanding what it is really helps. You go, okay, I need to forgive and release this that happened to me years ago because it's causing me all these other problems. So I'm going to specifically talk about the Filipino healing.
Hold on for a second. Stop right there. Let me ask you this. Can I fix my issues? I'm asking for a friend. Can I fix my issues without having to call my sister who I haven't spoken to in 25 years?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now I'm ready.
Because I mean, you don't have to like write a letter to somebody, apologize to somebody.
Right.
It's more about coming to terms with it with yourself.
Yeah, because there is nothing more deeply rooted than family issues. Right? There are people out there that are not going to call their brother that they haven't spoken to in 30 years in order to fix themselves. Right? They will continue with the pain rather than go and do that. But there's a way to do it without having to write that letter.
Yeah, because it's about, well, what was the experience? Why did you feel like this person did this to you and now, you're holding this grudge against them? Well, you're holding their energy in your body. It's not helping you. And you're actually just inviting in more of those experiences with somebody else. So you can have this horrible boss that's going to treat you the same way, or you can have a girlfriend that's going to treat you the same way. So it's about getting to that feeling. And once you kind of realize, oh, okay, I had that experience. I had it for a reason. We choose to have our brother, our mother, our father. We choose to have these relationships. We choose to have these difficulties, to have these experiences. So if you can come to terms with, hey, I asked for that. I asked for that lesson. Perhaps I did something to them in a past life. Perhaps this is, this is them getting even. Whatever it is, you got to come to terms with it and go, okay, at what point am I going to move on? It's not helping me.
Now, you brought up a very interesting point about approaches to this with different cultures around the world, and you've been around the world working with these different specialists. Let's just go with that word. And is it really as simple as different cultures have been working on the same things, different words, different ways to approach it, but it is all working on the self in a different way?
I see similarities when you look at like Reiki, which is very popular. It came from Japan, but now it's popular all over the world. And you look at the Filipino psychic surgery, magnetic healing. They've got different techniques. I've worked with the Aboriginals. I've worked with the Druids in England. They may have different terms, different techniques on ways of doing it, but a lot of it is about the same thing. They're working on the energy field, whether you call it an energy, your chakras, they call it your soul, your higher self. It's basically, believing in it. And a lot of them, people they may be very Catholic. The Philippines are very Catholic, so they will pray to God. There are other religions will bring in the angels or the white, for protection. But when you look at it, it's all the same thing. A lot of these healers that really do work, they're calling in their deity, their protection, their angels, and they're working on the energy field. And some things work better for people than other things. So, some of my clients will relate better to a certain healer and their technique and the way they work, and then not really resonate with another healer. And for other people, it's different. So I think it's also like what resonates with each person. So I've taken clients on trips all over the world, and I'll find that some of them really, like, they love this person, they love this technique, they just really resonate with that. So I think it's about finding what resonates with you as well.
I was watching something the other night. It was a movie, everybody. Actually, it was a series. And one of the discussions that was going on was the change out of, and this was going back to ancient Egypt, out of the divine masculine back into the divine feminine. And then I turn around and I see that you're doing a sacred duality panel that is discussing just this. When I think this is for the men out there, this question. When we're talking about this subject, what is the definition of divine masculine, and what is the definition of the divine feminine?
Well, I think we all have parts of us that's divine feminine and divine masculine, just like, we all have aspects to ourselves that are what we consider in social aspects as being more masculine, being the decision maker, being more aggressive, being more into finance, being more business. We all have that. And then what we would consider socially is the more feminine, the divine feminine, the creative, the nurturing, the caring, the loving, right? But we all have these aspects. And so there's a lot of thought that there's a balance. We're coming into this life and we're usually working on one or the other. So we usually come in and we're more polarized in one way, and we're here to learn what the other side is, often through romantic relationships, but also, with our relationship with ourselves. But we're here to explore. If you're mostly masculine, you're here to learn and appreciate the divine feminine in yourself as well as in your partner, and to explore that.
Do you know who I get my information from when it comes to this?
Who?
Comedians. Comedians will discuss this out in the open, and a relationship issue, the joke and the punchline, but the audience is 50-50 divided in squirming in their seats. Because they are right, they won't admit it, and the way that comedians handle this, I'm serious. It's like waking people up, because men don't want to hear any of this. They just don't. They don't want to do it.
Well, men are thinking, I don't want to look at my divine feminineness. That's too woo-woo creative. I don't want anything to do with that. Maybe I want to date a girl like that, but I don't want to have that in myself.
I said,
I must admit, in my romantic relationships, I tend to like manly men.
Is that right?
Yeah, I like being the divine feminine.
The other night, there's a new TV show out. It's 2 seasons. It's called Emily in Paris, and just the name right there says this is a girly girl show, right?
Yeah.
And I watched both seasons. And I've been talking about it on the air. It's well written. It's extremely adult, and it's not, it's cute in its own way, but very, I think, very expressive social issues are played out. It's really well written. I've been getting email from men out there. Church, grow a pair. What are you doing? Emily in Paris. And I'm just like, man, obviously you've got issues. Right? There's nothing wrong with something but men just won't admit it, will they?
Well, honestly, I do feel like it's gone a little too far. There's a lot of these, women that think, oh, well, all women should be equal to men, and we should all, we should have the same of everything. Look, we should be on the same appreciative level, but I think we're different, right? I don't want my men to be like me. I want my men to be men, and I want to be the divine feminine, right? I like that polarity. And so there are, women now like, oh, we should all get the same, we should all do the same jobs equally, and, everything should be equal. I like it when a guy opens the door for me and treats me like a woman. So it's my femininity. But I'm a businesswoman, and sometimes I will get guys that they like that masculine part of me as well, and so yeah, it's all like a learning lesson of how do we approach this, and this is what romantic relationships are all about. It's that dance of experiencing that.
So well said. So well said. I want everybody to understand. Gail has got an amazing image, right? She's got this image. And then I have sat and talked with Gail about business, about how to get things done. And you are as assertive, that side of you, as any man that I know.
But I think you can be different at different times.
Yes.
I think there's a place and a time to have your femininity, and I love romance, and I love to be that nurturing, caring, loving, very creative, feminine. But times when I'm doing business and I'm assertive, that's a different. I'm switching gears and I'm going to be different. But I don't think I'm ever kind of a mishmash of both. I think I'm always like one or the other. I think one part more, I'm either being more masculine because I'm in that right now for that moment, or I'm being my more feminine self. I don't think I'm ever kind of like both.
If you ever get a chance, we're going to take a break right here, but if you ever get a chance to go up and say hello to Gail, don't let that opportunity pass you by. She's absolutely amazing. We're going to take a quick break. More with Gail Thackray when we come back. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the UnX and Game Changer Networks. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
This is Jimmy Church, and I personally invite you to the 2022 Conscious Life Expo this February 4th through the 7th, live at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles, California. This year, we have the most exciting speakers, including Whitley Strieber, Adam Apollo, Billy Carson, Daryl Anka and Bashar, William Henry, Caroline Corey, Susan Slaughter, Daniel Brinkley, JJ and Desiree Hertog, Sarah Breskman Cosme, George Norrie, Gail Thackray, and many, many more. I will be hosting all weekend long, including the keynote Ancient Secrets panel on Friday night, 5 vendor and exhibit halls, 3 floors of speakers, panels, and celebration. This is the biggest event of the year, and early bird passes are available now. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for the schedule, speakers, and information. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Fadernauts, when you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Gail Thackray is with us. Tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy is here, also for the first time. Wednesday night, Chris Plain is here. The head science writer for The Debrief is joining us. Thursday night is open lines all night long. Tonight, Gail Thackray is here. And Gail, I've got an amazing question that popped up here in Twitter. And it's kind of funny. I'm going to back up. Originally, everybody, Gail and I were going to do this live in studio. And I remember Gail said, Jimmy, no, we're going to do this live in the studio. I said, okay, all right, come on up. But tonight we couldn't do it. We're doing it this way. But I've had some crazy things going on in my home that when we do this in the studio, I'll be able to show you what's happening. And this is what's happening. I have in the master bedroom, next to the master bedroom is a master bed. And then there is a walk-in closet, okay? And in this walk-in closet, which I will show you, I have about, I don't know how many feet, but let's say 15 feet of shoe racks. Okay? All right? On the bottom of the floor. And these certain shoes are jumping off of the rack into the middle of the floor. Yes, you heard me right. and when it started, with the first night, I was like, now how did the shoes get off of the rack into the middle of the floor? It was a little, I put the shoes back. I come back and now they're back. And I walked out. Gail, I'm not making this up. I look right in my bathroom mirror. I look at myself and I go, I got a ghost. This is cool. And so for the next 2 weeks, video, taking pictures of these shoes jumping off the shoe racks. They went about 3 months without doing it, and then just recently, about a month ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, they decided to jump off again. And then I had a pair of heavy tactical boots that are on the shoe rack, not tennis shoes, jump off. Okay, so my question...
Were these shoes meant for your brother?
I don't... My brother?
You have a brother?
Okay. I have a bunch of brothers. But how can this be going on? My brothers are all still alive, by the way. Yeah.
But were these shoes meant for your brother? What's it got to do with your brother?
I didn't say brother.
No, but what has it got to do with your brother, the shoes?
I have no idea. Why? What are you...
I don't know, but it's something about your brother in your shoes or your brother in your footsteps or something. Don't know. You're supposed to be helping your brother? This is from your mom.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And didn't you ask her? Didn't you ask her to physically show you?
I have, yes. I didn't tie this into my mom. Okay, that's interesting.
So what are you supposed to be doing for your brother?
Depends on which one. And I wonder what my mom is talking about. Yeah.
Like you're supposed to help your brother or be in your brother's shoes?
Man, I got so many issues with my brothers. It could be any brother. And my mom knows this too as well. But yeah, maybe that could be it. If you here's my personal request. So when you're here, can you go into the closet and maybe pick up on a vibe? Do you have...
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, we can try it. We should do it. We should film it.
Yeah, we should. 100%. I'm baffled.
One pair's like a cowboy boot, and the other pair is more working.
The answer would be yes and sort of. Yeah. Wow. Okay. You're messing with my head live on the air. You're used to this, though, aren't you?
I honestly, like, people are like, well, do you see ghosts? If I saw a ghost, I'd be running the other way screaming. So I think that we get little things. I think if you saw somebody in your room, you would freak out. So they have to be a bit more subtle.
Right.
Like, oh, it could have happened, but maybe it didn't happen. Like the shoes, maybe I moved the shoes, but maybe I didn't.
Oh, these shoes are leaping. They're leaping. They're going a couple of feet. Yeah, it's you'll see.
Do you have a brother that is actually older, but he acts like immature? He needs help. He needs a leg up.
Not older. I'm the oldest brother. I have an older sister, but
she's saying not the youngest, but he acts young.
That would be correct. Yeah, I don't want to say his name live on the air because he's probably listening. But
and there's something about dancing, like Western dancing.
Okay, I'm just going to let that go. How do you? I don't want to react. How do you know these things? I mean, I know how you, but that's really direct.
But that's it. That's how spirit communication comes through. It feels like it's your imagination. It feels like you're making it up.
Right.
But you're not making it up.
Wow. I'll talk to you about this off of the air. It's really messing with me. When okay, why did I bring up the shoes? I'm so distracted right now.
All right, let's go back to the masculine, feminine.
Yeah, that's an easier conversation. It's hot in here. I'm uncomfortable. Let me tell you something. I was trying to resolve these shoes, Gail, thinking it was the type of shoes, and then that didn't turn out to be it, that there was the second level and it wasn't the first level. Then they're jumping off the first level, and then these heavy tactical boots down in the end. You'll see when you're here. So when those are in the middle of my floor, I started to really understand that this wasn't something physical. There was something else going on here that was possibly supernatural. Here's the rub.
This is like get down and get that dirty work done.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Help out.
I tightened up the shoe. I made sure that all of the shoes were compressed on each other, right? So they couldn't, move at all. It would be impossible. And
then the lights will start going on. And
but then they still jumped off. And you'll see. So I just want you to check it out when you're here. And I had a friend of mine over, Lisa, who's probably listening right now. She's wonderful. I've known her for 35 years. Old friend of mine. So she goes, I want to see the shoes. And I said, okay. And so she rounded the corner and screamed when she went in, because there they were. And so we put them back on the shelf, on the racks, left. An hour later, went back up, and she screamed again. It's weird. So I don't know. Maybe it is my mom. I think that's a really good point. I'm going to investigate this further. Okay, so let's shift this around for a second. I try to improve something about me every day, right? I'm the most imperfect person on this planet. I've got lots of issues. But there's always a little something, right? And I'm always trying to... Do you do the same thing?
I meditate every day, and I try to... There's like two sides. Like, if you sit there, sometimes you get carried away with what am I going to do today? What's my to-do list? What's going on in my daily life, right? And I try to like step back from that and say, and just spend a half an hour just meditating on not the little things of going on. In fact, I actually envision myself as I'm sitting there. I bring myself back, looking at myself, and realize that, I'm a bigger picture than that. And I try to say, what is the bigger picture? What is it I'm really meant to be here doing? And then the little stuff kind of, resolves itself, because I think we get too much into each little tiny thing. So I wouldn't be so concerned about each little tiny thing you're working on. And the other thing is to be nice to yourself and be grateful. So every day try to say, this is what I'm so happy I have improved about myself. Mm-hmm. Look at what I'm growing, and not focus on the things that are wrong with you and the things you're working on, but be grateful for how far you've come.
So are you saying that you should approach it more simply, as opposed to, every single little imperfection and making it a big deal, that it try to be more simple about your approach to self-improvement?
Yeah, exactly. When you kind of pull back, I actually see myself sitting there, and all these worries, all these little things, I see these thoughts that are passing by, and I see myself thinking, and we are a spiritual being. If you pull back, you're pulling back into your higher self, you're pulling back into your soul self, and your physical self is having these experiences, having these difficulties, having these problems, and not liking this and working on that. But really, in the scheme of things, they're really small. So pull yourself back and look, and then just admire yourself and say, look at how much I've grown, and look at what I am accomplishing. And as you pull yourself back in that bigger picture, this small stuff kind of just takes care of itself.
Now, I want to ask you, I want to go back 3.5 years. You and I were neighbors, and we had a horrible fire roll through, and we were minutes away from being evacuated, which was, the evacuation zone was a half a block from my home. And I'm watching what's going on up on the top of the hill. I didn't know it at that time. I didn't find out until the next day. But that was you. And you lost everything that day. How do you cope with that? So many lost their homes and things during that, and that it happens quite often. In Boulder 2 weeks ago, 600 homes burnt down. How did you? And what is your advice to those that go through something like that? How did you? I spoke to you 2 days later after that to see how you were doing, and I mean, I just can't imagine what you were facing at that time. So how did you cope with it? How did you deal with it?
Well, we were at the house when this electric tower went off in the middle of the night, and we were running for our lives to get out. So we knew we hadn't got time to get anything. In fact, the tires were burning through on my car. They were beeping, beep, 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 because the air was going out because they were burning. And I was just thinking, God, just let the car go through. I didn't think we were going to survive. I actually thought we had a less than 50-50 chance of getting out of there. So, I get to go back the next day and everything was gone. I mean, everything was just burned to the ground. And I remember having this kind of strange, surreal feeling of kind of empowerment of, okay, so I've lost everything, but I have myself.
Right.
I manifested everything that I had. I had a great business. I had a beautiful home. But, I created this. I'm still here. And I thought about, the clients that I've taken around the world that have maybe, they've got cancer or, they've got real difficulties with their family. And I go, mine is stuff that I can replace, stuff that, and there was a feeling of, hey, it's not that bad. I imagine if I'd have had a friend that it happened to, I would have thought the same thing. Like, how do you cope with that? You can't cope. But it was almost like this kind of feeling of empowerment. Like, you know what? Everything's gone, and I'm still okay. Everything's gone, and it's not that bad. I'm still here. I'm still okay, and everything I had, I can manifest again. And after that, people were saying, hey, what do you need? And I actually said to people, come and do business with me. Don't feel sorry for me. Like, I got some, I had a bunch of crystals and jewelry that I lost. I ended up getting, some that were given to me on terms. And I had a sale. I had a fire sale. And said, come buy stuff from me and do business with me. And, pretty soon I was back on my feet and doing things again. But I tell you, it was a kick in the butt, because I've been talking about how you manifest things. And I'm sure people thought, oh, well, it's okay for you because, you're pretty successful or whatever. And you're talking about manifesting and, I got nothing. Oh, believe me, I had nothing. I had no insurance money. I mean, there was a little bit of insurance money, which didn't even pay for the fire cleanup. So I didn't have money in the bank. That was pretty much gone right away. I had nothing. And this was like the universe saying, hey, you talk about this manifesting stuff. Here you go. Do it.
Yeah, I remember that conversation that you and I had a couple of days later. And I was, okay, well, anyway, a couple of days, and I said, what do you need? You said, Jimmy, I'm going to be okay. But you've lost everything. I know. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And your attitude was so positive. The smoke was still coming off of the hill, right? It wasn't over. And you had just let me know that.
It was still on fire, yeah, actually. The parts were still on fire.
Yeah. And you said, no, I'm going to be okay, church. It's all right, man. And that's got to be tough for you to.
I thought, how can I complain? I look at clients really sick and stuff, and it's like, how can I complain about stuff, physical stuff? We manifest whatever we need. We don't have to start. People are not born with a lot of money, and then some people are, but there are people successful that come out of nothing. We create it. It is from us, and it is our energy, our attitude. It's our, we create everything that we have in life.
And how are things now, 3 years later?
Well, I'm making lemonade out of lemons. We are so the place burned to the ground, but I've actually been renting it for movies and events, and the movies loved the fact that it was all burned down. It was a great movie set, right? So we actually turned around and started doing other things. So it's working. And, right away, I went back, I think 2 weeks later, I was at the Conscious Life talking about manifesting. And it gave me a whole new reality of, how to start from scratch.
That you're right. It was 2 weeks later, we were at Conscious Life talking about it, and you were glowing, right? You were just like, it's life moves on. And it's just, wow. Are you going to rebuild up there?
I was going to rebuild. I got into it with the city. And so actually at this point, sometimes you go through difficulties and it's like, the city won't let me do this and they give me problems. But sometimes you go through difficulties and there's actually a reason and a silver lining. And so I think I'm actually just going to leave it as an event center, start doing the spiritual fairs again there, and, just gone on to other things.
Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about before we're going to come back and change gears for a second. But you're doing a post-conference workshop, and this is on Monday at 2 p.m., and it's called the Master Healer Course. Talk to me about that.
Well, so I've trained in Reiki, and I teach Reiki, the traditional. I teach Tibetan, but then I've also been around the world, and like we were talking earlier, gone to see all these different healers. They have different techniques, and different things appeal to different clients or work better for different clients. And so what I want to do is incorporate a bit of everything. I don't think as a healer you should be, okay, I just do this and I just study this. I think we should be more fluid. We should be working with our guides, because spiritual healing is not about the person in the room doing the work. It's actually calling in and being a channel. So when you're doing a healing, really the main thing you're doing is you're being a channel, and these healing energies come through spirits, through guides, through God. And I think you should be more fluid and directed by the divine. And, when I do healing work, often I can't remember things that are happening. Strange things happen that are really out of my control. And there is kind of like patchy memory. And that's because things are coming through my body and doing the healing through me. And so what I'm going to be talking about is, how do you get that connection where you're just more fluid? And yeah, I'm going to teach some techniques. I'm going to teach stuff that I learned in Bali and with the Aboriginals and the Druids, and give some of these techniques and these energies to people, and then just say, okay, now let's just experiment. Let's just be an open channel, and whatever that client needs, when that client comes, we're going to allow whatever spirits want to come through, whatever techniques we're supposed to do, and not to be so stuck on, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So it's really for people that maybe are already doing healing of one kind or another, or maybe they're total beginners, and we're gonna play around and experience all of it.
Could you teach a beginner doofus like myself? Could I understand how to go through this stuff?
Absolutely. And yes, there are certain techniques in different modalities that I can teach, and I do teach. But to me, it's mostly about getting out of your own way. It's about getting out of your head and having fun, playing around, and just not forcing it. It's a one-way street. They come to you, whether it's messages from spirit, whether it's the healing channel that comes through you. It's about getting in that space where you're more intuitive and you can go with the flow and getting out of your way. So I tell people, stop thinking, stop overthinking, stop taking notes, stop, worrying about this, that, and the other. Just relax, let's have fun, and we're just going to allow an experience.
Now,
so yeah, teach to anybody.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. When you are as busy, this is some of the best advice I need from you. Like this particular weekend, or in your life in general, how do you keep the energy up? You are always on 11.
Well, as far as doing the spiritual work, to me, you got to turn it on and off. You can't be in that. If you're going to do healing work, spiritual work, it's a very different mindset, right? It's very different to like doing business calls and doing your accounting. To me, one's a left brain, one's a right brain. It's a completely different way of being. So to me, you got to slate the time of now I'm going to be intuitive, I'm going to be open. Because if you don't, the intuitive, when you're really in that space where you're really connecting with spirit, you're a little out there, you're a little ditzy, and you can't be doing that. You know, I say to people, like, you can't walk out of the room and just be open like that. Or you're going to go to the supermarket walking around going, oh, I have a message for you, I have a message for you, right? And you can't live like that. So to me, you've got to turn it on, you've got to turn it off. So if I'm in business mode, I'm checking my email, that's a totally different way of being. If I'm in my creative mode, you know, and sometimes sometimes you can't just come running home from doing everything and then all of a sudden sometimes it takes you like a few minutes to decompress and get into that mode. But don't try to do it all at the same time.
And so much of the world right now, and I'm speaking for myself as well, we're exhausted, right? We have gone through 2.5 years now of some pretty emotional stress. How do we now go through 2022 and pick up the energy level so we can focus on the new year?
I actually think in some ways this has been really great spiritual growth for most people. I mean, this has been a kind of a time when you've been forced to address fears and issues, but a time when you've had more time to sit and think about what is the big picture. And you've also had time to kind of go, okay, all this little stuff I was worried about, really, is that big of a deal anymore? So I think this last 2 years has been great for people to really refocus on what is important and to realize that the time is now. And I think a lot of people are coming out of this now. I think, you know, Mercury's in retrograde, but in the next couple of weeks, I think right at the time of conscious life, people are coming out going, okay, I'm finally ready to do it. Mm-hmm. I've done the homework. I'm ready for a new career. I'm ready to get on my soul purpose. I'm ready to have great relationships. I think people have done a lot of work and they're ready to like go out there and be, you know, really, whether it's business, whether it's their personal life. But I think that a lot of the old crap that was such a big deal and bogging everybody down, I think people have kind of like over it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like getting on the entrance ramp onto the freeway. Right now, you need to make sure that you're ready for this because you're going to merge into traffic. The rest of the world is also moving forward too as well. Right? And you can't let everybody else pass you by. Now's the time to get it done.
And this is the time we've seen, you know, people it's like the world's gone upside down. People that were not really doing anything have suddenly like created a new business. People are realizing they can do things they never could do before.
Right.
People are coming out and going, you know, it's like my last opportunity because we don't know. It's almost like you don't know if there's going to be a tomorrow. So like live now. And I get the feeling that people have really done their homework and they're coming out going, I want to live. I want to experience. I want to feel.
I couldn't agree with you more. Let's take our break right here. Gail Thackray, finally. I get to sit down with Gail on Fade to Black. We'll continue this conversation when we come back. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer and UnX networks. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, the X.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? UnX Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNX-DB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to getthetea.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's getthetea.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Gold loves chaos, uncertainty, and disarray. History shows us what gold does when people aren't sure about the government, the stock market, their jobs, or their retirement savings. Our national debt is skyrocketing. Gold and other precious metals are a defense measure against inflation and a stock market that might take years to recover. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Call United Gold Group. We offer gold and other precious metals delivered securely within 72 hours. Are you worried about the stock market? We can also help you set up a real gold or silver IRA or a 401k. Safe and secure. United Gold Group makes gold ownership affordable. Call now and get up to $2,500 in free gold or silver with a qualified IRA. Call 800-753-8534. That's 800-753-8534 or visit unitedgoldgroup.com.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Gail Thackray. Okay. Here we go. Now, Gail, I'm going to bring up a couple of things, and I just hope that that you're okay with me after these next few questions. You and I, this is going back a couple of years, and you know exactly when this went down. You and I were out, and we started to talk about, man, see, I'm squirming in my seat, right? Okay.
I'm nervously laughing because I don't know what you're going to say here.
And okay. we started to. I was asking about your life and some things, and then you opened up to me, and we had this was a private conversation that lasted for a couple of hours. And you had told me about some pretty insane events. I'm going to throw a softball out there because I don't know how you want to answer this directly. But you had moved into a possible career path, and you were exposed to a Tony Soprano type figure, right? Am I framing that correctly?
Okay.
Okay. Yes. She's squirming too. And you started to tell me about it, and then suddenly you found yourself in a world that you knew nothing about, and certain individuals. And I think that this, when I found, we're going to talk about this now, but it has certainly made you who you are today. This is a serious character strengthening type of event. But and now I want you to better explain the situation, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, number one. Number two, I don't know how you want to explain it in a way that's safe, right?
So you all know me as the spiritual healer girl. But before I had this experience and did this kind of work, I had a completely different kind of a business. And I recently decided to go back and explain what that business was. So basically, I had this business when I first came to the U.S. I was the Marlboro cigarette model. And so they brought me over to the States. And I ended up being cast in a bunch of B movies and decided to stay a while. Well, I started this business, and I had this photographer boyfriend who shot nude pictures of girls, and he'd thrown a bunch of pictures away in the trash. And I said, "Oh, what are these?" And he said, "Oh, nobody would want them." I took them out of the trash, and I figured out who these magazines were, and I sold these photos, and I sold this trash can for like $30,000. And I thought, wow, America, this is great.
Who were the photos of?
There were different models
that
this guy had shot, right?
Okay.
So I created this business, and I went back to London to photographers that were really great advertising photographers and said, hey, you want to shoot some nude stuff for Penthouse in America? Nobody's going to know who you are. And I started selling pictures. This was like a sideline business that I had that just grew and grew. So anyway, I started licensing pictures to Penthouse and all the other magazines. And I actually, by the time I was in my early 20s, I owned the largest erotic library in the world with about 2 million images. And so I had this business, and I actually owned the rights to these images. So ultimately, when the internet was invented, I actually was the person that had all these images. So these people wanted to start these girly websites. I was the one that sold the images. But I did a bunch of other stuff in there. I started my own magazines. I worked for some, I was at the Playboy Mansion, did all this crazy stuff. But I was approached by this big advertising company in New York, and they said, hey, we're doing this 900 number business, and we need some help. I ended up running this phone business. I ended up going all over the world and setting up phone lines for them and running this business for them for years. And they were fantastic to me. But I would go to New York, and they had me meet with these investors. And these were, their investors. I'm English. I don't know anything. They look like sopranos. I figure out later, but I don't know. And they're like, oh, you're like family to us. Anybody messes with you, we'll take care of them. And
Keyword their family, right?
Yeah, you like family.
All right.
And there was at one point that I had gotten them some business, and I guess somebody else was all bent out of shape. And I met this guy walking into the restaurant. I was there with my guys and the investors, and this other guy's walking out, and he looks at me and he says, "I'm glad I didn't have to break those pretty little legs." And I look at them, I'm like, what are they talking about? And it's like, yeah, well, he kind of had a hit on you, but don't worry, we took care of it. I thought it was a joke, but clearly it was not a joke. So I ran this business for years, and they were making tens of millions of dollars. And then we kind of had a bit of a falling out, and there was a bank scandal. The internet had just started, and somebody was creaming off hundreds of millions of dollars. In the end, the FBI came to my office, and somebody had stolen $850 million in this bank scam.
So wait. $850 million?
It's the largest bank heist in history. And so these guys had infiltrated the banks. Now, the banks were obviously all in the chain, and they'd put my name on all these transactions. And so it was happening every month. There was millions of dollars coming out of these bank accounts with my name on it. And the FBI came to my office, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I ended up suing the bank because the bank said they'd made an error. But the error, they couldn't stop the error. This money just kept disappearing month after month, and the bank kept saying, we can't stop it. We've got your name on it by mistake, and yeah, we don't know where this money's going. Clearly, they were in on it. And in the end, the FBI took them down, and it came out on the front page of the newspapers that these guys who had been working for years, and it said that they were largest money earners ever, and they'd made their money in this 900 phone business. And that's how I found out who they were. And they were, one of the biggest crime families. And this was the largest bank scam in history.
Okay, now I have 50 questions. When we talk about crime families, I don't know any of these. So crime families out there, if you're still around, I'm just the show host here. Were these figures now obviously public, and were these people that we know?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm doing a documentary, and I am actually going to name exactly who everybody is. But I didn't want to do it till it comes out in the documentary, just in case somebody decides to try to stop us.
Right. Are you nervous about yourself and your well-being?
I'm slightly nervous. But I'm just at the point where I'm just like, fuck it.
Right.
I'm just...
Right.
I wrote this book about this era, which starts, in the 80s. It starts about like the Playboy Mansion and that whole era of the erotic film business. And then it goes into, this deal with this bank scandal. And then it talks about, the Playboy Mansion and Larry Flint and Bob Guccione and all these characters I worked with, and the launch of the internet, which was insane. And it reads a little bit like the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
But it's about Hollywood, because at the same time I'm trying to be a mainstream actress. And it actually compares like the sex business, which was a straight up business of selling erotic photos. There was nothing untoward about it, but yeah, I'm in Hollywood going up for an audition for something, and they're all hitting on me. So it was kind of like, it's a book about the whole era of Hollywood and of the the glamour, sexy picture business and the launch of the internet and who the players were in that. And it's all, every single bit of it's true.
Now, when the FBI approaches you the first time and they start, well, obviously they're talking about money and theft, and $850 million is not small change. That's a huge amount of money today or in any other timeline. But they start revealing names to you and organizations. Did you have any idea at that point that this is what was going on?
No. So what happened was these people had been billed on the credit card. So let's say they bought a book off Amazon for $20, and on their credit card statement, it would show up $20 3 or 4 times, and it wouldn't have Amazon's name on it. It would have my company name on it. But the money itself had disappeared. It just, vanished in thin air. And so what happened was I walked into my office one day and there was literally hundreds of thousands of people calling the phone lines. And then back in those days, you get like a physical piece of paper that would come with this chargeback. Well, they were showing up. The mail lady was coming with whole carts of these what they call retrieval notices. So we knew something major had happened, and I called the bank and said, what the hell? And they said, yeah, we got this problem, and we put your name on everything by mistake, and we're trying to fix it. And I'm like, okay, but I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the figures. This money's disappearing into thin air, right? And so at that point, my attorneys got involved, and I got bankers involved, and they're looking at this stuff, and they're going, this has to be an organized deal, because there's hundreds of millions of dollars here, and it's just disappearing.
So where ultimately, where did the money go?
Oh, the money's gone. The money's still gone. And so actually, as we were doing this documentary and the producers going through all the paperwork, I had forgotten, but they actually the bank put a gag order on me. So what happened was it came out, the crime family, the guy I'd been working for years, he ended up going to jail. But clearly all these banks were in on it. And so the bank made me destroy the evidence, which I didn't like. My attorney destroyed his copy, but I kept mine. And they put a gag order on me that I'm not allowed to talk about. I'm not allowed to talk about that it happened or any of it. So I'm not even allowed to be talking about it on here. But I figured, what the hell? If these people come up and say, hey, you're not allowed to talk about it, you owe me the gag order money. That's like saying, hey, I'm the bank that was in business with the crime family. And by the way, that $850 million is still not being recovered to this day. So come look at me. So I don't think any bank is going to come out and admit to it being them.
Who's going to play you in the movie?
I would love Margot Robbie.
Oh, okay. Are you, this is a movie, clearly.
So it's actually two things. It's a documentary, which will be interviews with me, and we will be reproducing the different scenes. And then it's also going to be a scripted show with actors.
How far into? I can't wait to see this myself. And there's so much. Okay, when is this a 2022 project, or is this 2023?
We just started shooting the documentary, and
right.
the scripted one will be after that. So these things take a while.
Now, Gail, you shared a lot of information with me. Not information, that's wrong. I should say storyline with me. Is even these, some of it is pretty crazy. Is all of it going to be there?
Oh yeah, I know. You're
not going to hold back.
More. I name names, And I talk about, the craziest stuff that you can imagine. I mean, people I think are going to be very interested. People have an opinion of what they think, especially at the start of the internet, what it was like.
Right.
It was a bunch of, young tech geeks that were living in their mother's basement, all of a sudden making multi-million dollars a month, and have never dated anybody in their life, and all of a sudden they're in the sex business with millions of dollars. So that whole world was insane. And the Playboy mansions, the parties and the celebrities, and even the celebrities that came to my house. I have a scene where Tom Sizemore moved into my guest house.
Okay.
Tom Sizemore, the actor.
Yes, okay. So now, okay. Tom, I didn't say that. So you and I talked about this is the whole thing, though. You've got a life that is like cut in half, right? There's these two things going on at the same time. Are you going to go full-time movie producer? Are you going to get into the film business again?
I am getting into the film business again. And I did actually, when I wrote the book and decided to do this project, I kind of decided, okay, part of it was like, I'm not being completely authentic with everybody. I tell people, love all sides of yourself.
Right.
And I thought, I've kind of hidden this whole story. And I thought, what? I want to share this. This is who I am. And I thought when I did that, I actually contacted the different expos and said, I'm not going to be talking anymore because I got this book coming out and I don't think people are going to like me anymore. I didn't think women would like me. And women read the book and said, this is awesome. This is empowering to women. And they wanted me to come back and talk. And, I love the spiritual stuff. And then I started to say, why can't I do both? Why do we have to be, okay, we're spiritual, but, if we're spiritual people, can we not make money? Can we not have businesses? Can we not have fun? Can we not have sex? And it's like, I just said, why can't we have both? Why can't I be both? Why do I have to be one or the other?
Do you remember you and I talking about this subject 2 or 3 years ago about how to balance this? How do we talk about this and with the whole spirituality side of? And you asked me about Fade to Black, and you said, what? How do you think the audience? I said, I don't know. I want to have this conversation. Certainly, we're having it now. But we had a difficult time trying to figure out a way through this when the book first came out. You remember that, right?
Yeah, and that was kind of my dilemma. It's like, well, there's spiritual and healing, and that's kind of like one separate thing. And then there's this like, crazy fun business world, and how are people going to take it? But, this is part of the human experience. And why do we have to say, you can't be spiritual if you make money and if you have a business? And that's been, I think, an issue with spirituality for a long time. A lot of people believe, well, you can't have nice things or drive a nice car or have fun or do these things or be a big business person or make money and be spiritual. And that's BS.
Right. It is. And before I say goodnight, we've just got a couple of minutes left. What is up in 2022? Not only for you, but for the rest of the world. What have you learned, and are you as bright on the future as I am? I'm pretty optimistic about what's coming up.
I think 2022 is going to be one of the best years we've had. I think it's like everybody has now, they've done their homework, they figured out, they're ready to be on their soul purpose. And I think a lot of those things that we had about, these, well, who's going to think about that? And maybe I should wait. People are like, there might not be a tomorrow. It's time to live. It's time to get on our path. It's time to do something. And that's what I'm doing this year. I'm going to put out my book with my series, my documentary. I'm going to do the spiritual. I'm just going to do all of it and have fun doing it. And I'm doing a Pierce Brosnan, Morgan Freeman movie just for the hell of it. And I'm having fun this year.
Wait. You're producing?
I'm producing a movie with Pierce Brosnan and Morgan Freeman that starts in March. And so that's going to be a really fun project. And so I'm getting back into more legitimate producing as well as producing my own show. And I'm going to do the spiritual and hope people want to come see me talk about spiritual stuff.
You're the best, Gail. And I can't wait. We get to hang out in just 2 weeks. We're neighbors and things, but we get to go and have fun at the Conscious Life Expo. And as always, Gail and I, our booths are right next to each other, as we have been for many years now. So when you come by Fade to Black, Gail will be right there, and come over and meet Gail in person. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you. And tonight, go see if those boots are turned the other way in, because you got the message.
I'm telling you, I can't wait till you're here and you can help me figure this out. Gail, you're the best, and you have the best smile. Give my best to Sydney, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, darling.
The best, Gail Thackray. And GailThackray.com. The links are over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll see everybody when I come back. Stay with us.
Listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church, and I personally invite you to the 2022 Conscious Life Expo this February 4th through the 7th, live at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles, California. This year, we have the most exciting speakers, including Linda Moulton Howe, Jacques Vallée, Whitley Strieber, Adam Apollo, Billy Carson, Daryl Anka and Bashar, William Henry, Caroline Corey, Susan Slaughter, Daniel Brinkley, Sarah Breskman-Cosme, George Norrie, Gail Thackray, and many, many more. I will be hosting all weekend long, including the keynote Ancient Secrets panel on Friday night, 5 vendor and exhibit halls, 3 floors of speakers, panels, and celebration. This is the biggest event of the year, and early bird passes are available now. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for the schedule, speakers, and information. That's ConsciousLifeExpo.com. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Unex Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today.
This is Billy Carson with ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Forbidden Knowledge TV has just reached its 1-year anniversary. That's right, 1 year. And as a show of appreciation, we are giving all new subscribers a free 30-day trial of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's 30 days to binge watch thousands of movies, documentaries, conferences, workshops, lectures, yoga classes, meditation courses, and so much more. So log on to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv from your computer or mobile device, or get the Forbidden Knowledge TV app on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon, iTunes, or Google Play today, and use coupon code 30daysfree. That's coupon code 30 days free on ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right. Fade to Black. Thank you, Gail Thackray. She's amazing. She's amazing on every level. And you got to come out to Conscious Life Expo and say hello to Gail. And she's got 6 events she is doing the entire weekend. It's going to be great. So the links for the Conscious Life Expo are below, and we have them over on the website, and they're throughout social media. But you've got to come out and hang out with us. It's February 4th through the 7th at the LAX Hilton. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a great weekend. Finally get to hang out with my friends. It's going to be awesome. And listen, for those of you that are coming out, Saturday night, Expo's Got Talent. I've said it a million times. That is, the weekend's going to be great. The highlight for me, Expo's Got Talent on Saturday night. All right. I've opened up the phone line, 747-228-2051. If you're on hold, stay right there. And let's get straight to it. One segment left. Open lines. Let's see who's up first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Who's calling is somebody named ALA. The last A stands for Anonymous. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello. Where are you calling from, Anonymous?
Oh, I'm calling from Texas in the United States of America.
Okay, right on. What's on your mind?
All right, dude. All right. Okay. I had sent you an email earlier on I'm part of one of those fader knots. I've connected, right?
Okay.
I don't have the full annual thing with the free T-shirt and stuff. But, I'm going back in time and watching some of your episodes, and I cannot find episode 1. I watched episode 2. I watched episode 3, dude. When you go to YouTube, okay, I don't want to freak you out. You go to YouTube, but if you push that button where it says sorted in reverse,
I've never done that.
It's all the old stuff. You have to do it. Try it on your own self. It's your own channel.
Okay.
Do it. Put it on reverse, and then you go and it starts with episode 2, which was Jason Martell. Right.
So,
and you had a window in the background, dude. I know, this was weird.
So
I go back and I watch old episodes. Yeah, go ahead.
Episode 1 is not there?
Right. Why?
I wonder.
Why
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't know.
Well, episode 2 is there.
Okay. Episode 1.
3.
I think episode 1 was Steve Murillo. I could be wrong.
Oh, Steve Murillo or Murillo? You mean, how do you spell that?
Murillo. And I'm going to throw
Murillo
this over.
Or Murillo. Right, okay.
Murillo. I'm going to throw this over to the Fadernauts. Is that right? There's no episode 1 on YouTube?
Oh, and guess what? Since I'm one of those little, I'm a member now, I think it's $10 a month. I didn't do the whole year thing, so I couldn't get the free cap and the T-shirt.
Right. But in the membership,
when I went to the archives,
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In the membership, there's episode 1.
Well, I went to the archives. Okay, that means real quick. I went to the archives, and if you go down there, you have to use Firefox. I have iPhones, right? So I have to use Firefox. It won't work with Safari, by the way. So I go down there, and it just stops at 300. It doesn't go below that. But if you go to your YouTube channel, and if you have to scroll down for a couple of minutes, you'll get down there, and I figured out, there's a button on top that says put it in reverse. So it does it. So now the old stuff pops up to the top. And guess what? It starts with episode 2, but there's no episode 1.
Okay.
But now we know it's Steve Murillo or Murillo, right?
I can't remember who the first guest was. But I have never.
Dude, but you're 3 dude are amazing, man. You were just starting off, man.
Yeah.
That was 2013.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, great job, man. Hey, man, I'm just glad I got on, man. Check it out, episode 1. That'd be fun. Let's all go back in time.
I have no idea, but I'll look into that. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Do it.
Behave and be well,
my
friend.
You're welcome.
All the way from Texas. Thank you so much, man. Have a great night.
Yes, Texas. I can't say exactly where. Right? It's Anonymous.
It's time to fade to black. Thank you, Anonymous. And that's interesting. We going back, there was a lot of work that was put in to the archives. And when we set everything up, now this goes not only with the Fade to Black membership area, but Libsyn as well, who handles our podcast, and all of those archives, which I have on hard drives, and compiling everything. I know that we started with 1 and moved forward because I had to do all of that and pulling up the archives. So that's strange. And to have the membership area stop at 300, that doesn't make any sense. Nobody has ever mentioned any of this to me before. So, I have no idea. I'll talk to Drew tomorrow and see if indeed that the membership stop at 300. No, nobody's ever said that to me. But I did not know that episode 1 isn't on YouTube. It's always been on YouTube. Why would it be off? Huh. I mean, I have it. If I have to re-upload, I don't know. That's probably pretty painful to go back and see that. Let's see. Episode 2, 2.13. Stanton Oreo. Okay, 2. Wow. Okay. So who posted this? This is Diana. He's right, she says. Yeah, wow. Wow, I had no idea. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Okay, let me be very clear to everybody so you understand where I'm coming from. I have never, not even once, listened to a past episode. That's never happened. I don't think, maybe snippets here and there over the years when somebody has sent me something, but I've never gone back and listened to a show. That's number 1. Number 2, I haven't gone back. We're at today is episode 1500, right? Or something like that. 1400, 1500. And that's a lot of episodes, and that's a lot of pages in YouTube. I have no idea what that would be like to go back and check stuff out, to double check. It's uploaded. It happens automatically, and that's it. I've got another show to do tomorrow. This show today with Gail, amazing show, but that's it. Tomorrow's a new day, and everything gets uploaded to memberships and to Libsyn and YouTube, and all of that is done automatically. I don't deal with any. I couldn't. It would bog me down. But anyway. As far as episode 1, I have no idea, and I am surprised. But I guess I could go and dig it up somewhere, and it's all stored on a couple of different drives. But why wouldn't episode 1 be there? Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, wow. Thank you for the phone call, Anonymous from Texas. And we'll look into it. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello.
Yes.
It's Steve again.
Hey, Steve. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from La Habra right now.
La Habra. All right. What's on your mind, man? What's going on?
I'm the same guy. I grew up in Sierra Madre, and I just called in because I was laughing about episode 1.
It's missing. It's MIA, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
I wonder when it went. I wonder when it went missing.
I've listened to you from I think I got maybe the first year. You started on Fade to Black. I kind of missed, so I went back. So I've listened to every single show.
Wow.
Jimmy.
Wow.
Jimmy.
Wow.
I don't know how you go through these movies, like these series, like, you know what I'm talking about.
I have to manage my. It's called time management. I have to manage my time, man.
And I cannot watch a movie. I cannot watch a series like that. But I listen to you and I follow you. Well, I have not missed one show. If I miss a show, I go back. I check it out.
Yeah, right on, Steve. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. The missing episode number 1, first I've heard about it, and yeah, I guess I've got my work cut out for me, and we'll have to go back and find it and get that up, man. We can't have a missing show, but it's going to be out of order. That's the other thing. If we I mean, you can't like backdate it, right? For it to be number 1 in YouTube, it'll be the latest episode posted. But I will look into it and see why it's missing. Hey, Steve, behave and be well, man, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Wait! I got one more question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite guitar solo that you like to play? On an electric guitar.
My favorite guitar solo that I like to play?
Yeah.
I mean, that goes into a couple of different...
Judas Priest?
What? Judas Priest would not be up there.
I know you play all that.
You know what? I like if I'm playing by myself and I just want to have fun... I like the entire Black Sabbath Technical Ecstasy album is really strong. But you know what else I like to do? I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles, man.
Yeah. Very good.
The guitar solo for One of These Nights, tasty. And the outro. But
very tasty.
You remember there's a song by the Eagles called I Can't Tell You Why. That's another great guitar solo, but it's 2 different kind of vibes, you know. I like anything off of ZZ Top, De Guayo. That's a fun album to play. Have a great night, Steve. All right.
Oh, thank you so much, Jimmy.
Thank you, man. And it's time to fade to black. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's time to fade to black.
Right on, Steve. Have a good night. When it comes to guitar, it's what mood am I in? A lot of times I'll be out driving, and it's like the last song I hear pulling into the driveway, and I just can't get that song out of my head, no matter what it is, and I'll come in and play that, and that happens a lot, and it doesn't matter. The other day, it was Funk 49, right? It was like the last song Joe Walsh. It was like the last song I played Funk 49 for an hour. I just couldn't get it out of my head. Queen, Under Pressure the other day. It was a week ago. It was like the last song that I heard pulling in the driveway. Came in and played that. It's just like whatever's the last thing that I hear. Oh, I just brought up One of These Nights by the Eagles. That was a couple of weeks ago. Last song that I heard. Came in and played that. I'm not going to get into details, but there you go. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Deb from Sacramento.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, well, when you open up the lines, I want you to be sure to have people to talk to. So it's really for you, Jimmy, not for me.
Okay. What's on your mind, Deb?
But you know that. Yeah. Hey, so the one that called you out in your pajama bottoms today online, that was me watching you unbox the beautiful lioness. What a beautiful skull.
Yes, she is. She's right here.
She is. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I'm on a delay, but I'll see her.
There you go.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And to celebrate her, I posted in my opening tweet tonight, I posted my beautiful, sweet Caroline. She named herself, and so my post always has her with the musical clip of Neil Diamond singing Sweet Caroline to her image. Mm-hmm. And so I posted that in celebration of the lioness today. They are beautiful skulls. I had a question for you from earlier in the chat room, though. You mentioned a dragon energy. What does a dragon energy feel like?
Oh, I don't know, but the third stone triscale sent me a dragon. This is my first dragon for Christmas.
I saw it.
And you know what's really cool about, first off, it's green. So it looks.
I saw it, yeah.
It looks, I'm holding it up to the camera. It looks like a dragon, but it's, because it's green, it's like jade. I'm holding it up to the camera now. And just incredible. Beautiful. And it's my first dragon, and I'm just vibing. I'm vibing on it. It's really cool. So no, ask me a serious question. What's the energy like? That's too serious. I'm just saying that I'm vibing on it. I feel the dragon energy. Very, very, very cool. Just beautiful. The carving, but it's the shade of green and how bright he is, and he's a he for sure.
Yeah, well, and again, it's a he because you're feeling the masculine energy coming from it. And I wanted to address what Gail said about the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. Let me just say first how much I enjoyed hearing Gail. I want to assure her, and I hope she's still listening, man, she sounds like someone I would love to meet and hang out with at a conference. She has such a beautiful energy to her, and self-confidence, and smart and comfortable in her own skin. And, growing up conservatively the way I did, I would have judged someone like her in the past, but not anymore. I feel that when women are have a self-love and they're comfortable in their skin and their sexuality, and and there's a big difference between confidence and conceit. Don't ever confuse the two. I believe that when you have that, and you're on a spiritual journey especially, but even if you're not, and you have those strengths, you support other women. You don't attack them. There's no jealousy. And the same with men. And we need to lift each other up and support each other. And you can spot when someone has that self-confidence like Gail does and women who don't. And I really appreciate her opinions, and I wanted to address the sacred feminine, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that, I think we are all a duality of feminine and masculine, and I'm going to use two examples. When I had to work alone on graveyard shift at FedEx for 8 years, in a way, I had to put on what I called my shield of armor every night because I worked alone, and some people would come in and try to boss me around and intimidate me because here I was, little Debbie, all alone there, and they thought that they could intimidate me or, just get me to help them maybe, or box things for them when they didn't do the job themselves, or demand my time. And I had to be not aggressive, but I had to be very strong and stand strong and not be intimidated by those people. And it's a skill that you learn over the years. It doesn't mean you're not a nice person or anything, but you have to know when to stand strong. And then addressing with men and the sacred feminine, I think that, I'm going to use you as an example, Jimmy, when you talk about, and I'm going to call it a spirit of generosity, where you want to give to other people, but you do it in secret, or you watch a series like, Emily in Paris, which I just finished and I just loved it. Some people would call that a chick flick. No, when you have, I think when you have a gentleness in your heart, or you're open to watching that and not being, you don't have to be outwardly masculine to have that quality. And I think that that's part of the sacred feminine in men. And that's kind of how I think of those two things.
Okay.
We all have a duality. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is kind of my opinion in this realm. Is that I think that the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine and these references that we hear coming up, I don't think a lot of people really understand what is being discussed. And when we look back into the distant past, I think that societies started to draw the line very early on and quickly between men and women, and there were others that were accepting of both. And I always found that very interesting, because if you go to the earliest dynastic periods of Egypt, there were, and just like look at Cleopatra, who was the last pharaoh in Egypt, running, like the greatest country in the world at the time. It was in serious competition with Rome. I get that, but there were cultures that were, and somewhere along the line, it seems like the different countries of the world, and whether they were monarchies or other things, started to separate with that. And then when you look at England and how some of the most powerful and effective leadership and rulers of England were queens. And we don't understand that, and we don't go back and look at that hard enough today, and how this separation of the sexes started to become so strong. I'm just confused with that, and when I go back and look at, like, for instance, what Cleopatra represented. That strength and that intelligence, we've lost sight of it. And I don't understand how that happened. Now, the other part, and talking about Gail, when you sit down, and I said this, she has an image. She is beautiful. She is. You see her and you're like, whoa, right? She is one of the smartest people I've ever met. And she is so layered and so deep. It's extraordinary to hang out with her. I was a guest on her show a couple of years ago, And her questions and the way that she handled that, it was like one of the best I've ever done. And that's Gail and what she represents. She is strong, strong, strong. And that's why earlier tonight I had brought up her losing her home, which was above the hill from our house. And I was watching all of this go down. And it was crazy. The water drops, the helicopters, the planes, and everything. And she just lost her house. And Conscious Life Expo was coming up. I called her, and I said, "Are you okay?" I'm going to be fine. I said, "You lost your house?" I did. "How are you doing, Jimmy?" "I'm going to be fine. Everything is going to be okay." And that was her attitude. And I know. The way that I would have handled it, it wouldn't have been like that. And I don't know how I would have been emotionally or how I would have dealt with things, but I learned a big lesson from Gail Thackray that day. And we could all learn from Gail. She's absolutely amazing. And with that, Deb, I gotta jump. I gotta get out of here. We're at the end of the show. Thank you for the phone call.
Thank you, Jimmy, so much.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Gail, for coming on.
Yeah, she's amazing. Thank you so much, Deb. It's time to fade to black.
Thank you, Jimmy.
I got to get out of here. And tomorrow night, I want to let everybody know what's coming up. So tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy is going to be with us, and I don't want to. Tomorrow night's show is on Antarctica and the Antarctica mystery. His research into what may or may not be going on down in Antarctica, it's going to open up your eyes. And in my conversations with Pete over the weekend, talking about this, I literally said to Pete, I said, stop right there. I don't want to know anything else. It's going to be incredible. When I said tomorrow is going to be a true not to miss show, tomorrow night with Pete McCarthy, first time guest, and go and check out his YouTube channel. It's called Creepy Little Book, but that is tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, Chris Plain is going to be here. Yes, he's the head science writer over at The Debrief, also a stand-up comedian, extremely intelligent, and a little funny, too. And that's why that show was called Science or Comedy, and he's balancing both. So that's Wednesday night. It's going to be a great week here. I want to thank Gail Thackray tonight. Finally, I got Gail on the show. She is just incredible. Incredible. GailThackray.com. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton, Jay, Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2022 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tomorrow night, Pete McCarthy, the Antarctica Mystery. Until then, I want everybody to be safe. It's time to fade to black.